This is like that photo of like like the Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's my photo too. The 4 villains. You should just put that picture up in the beginning of the video.
It might be the biggest game just for like the league to capitalize too.
Oh, for sure.
And
100%.
Let's see if they actually do, because they're getting this ESPN hype.
With PK cutting that promo.
Yeah,
Right.
And just talking about how, all the Canadian guys and American guys take it seriously. Even the Swedish and Finland guys, like they play for the country. They show out and they play.
Yeah.
And they put the body on the line. But at the same time, he talked about like the All-Star game not doing that. NBA All-Star compared to the NBA All-Star game, but it wasn't like the NHL All-Star game was doing any better.
No, it was horrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
They were also be like they're like, we don't want to try. We're just here to
they're mailing
around.
it in, right?
Yeah.
They all want to go on vacation, right?
Yeah.
So
there's
no season.
I think it's popular now to just pile on the NBA and the NBA's ratings, and everyone's complaining about the NBA how it's not as good as it used to be, and the players aren't trying this and the third. But I agree with Zach. I think it was a little disingenuous on PK's part.
Yeah.
Given that it hasn't even been a calendar year since the Olympics took place, and when US played Serbia in the final, Twitter was going off. Everyone was going off, and they were really committed. The players were. It's not like you can say LeBron guys weren't trying then.
Yeah.
They're trying for their country too in their respective sport.
Right. 100%.
But that being said, it's always good to get coverage on ESPN and the big networks for the NHL. So this is good for the NHL.
It's good. It's good. I just think this is the move. Like NHL finally learned something. They finally made the one right decision moving forward.
Because before this tournament was announced, I wasn't sure what the hell was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to be good. I don't know if it was going to be good or bad.
I honestly thought it'd be like the World Cup of hockey in 2016.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like that kind of like of a dud of a tournament.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Here we go again.
Like a bunch of players mailing it in.
Yeah.
They don't want to get hurt or anything.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything. They don't want to risk it in the middle of the season. But now they're like, okay, if like we're gonna risk it all. They scrapped it 3 times in the beginning of the game.
First 9 seconds. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So if you're bringing that intensity, you're going to have eyeballs on you for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if the fact that like the NBA's ratings isn't doing, this is the perfect time for the NHL to again like capitalize on this moment.
I think any professional athlete, regardless of what type of sport they play, loves representing their country or taking
100%.
parts in Olympics and things like
100%.
that. That World Cup of hockey that took place 10 years ago, or 2016 rather. A problem with that was those 2 teams, Team North America and the under 23s.
European team.
Because it's like there's no national pride, right? Like even this
100%.
tournament, okay, Sweden and Finland, they weren't as...
At least Finland had their own beef going on too.
right, but they're going to have their pride. And, if you're Canada, you're still going to play these teams who have their own pride, right? But you have these tacky, gimmicky
Gimmicks, yeah.
teams.
And you don't really have anything to play for if you're those 2 teams. You're just playing just to be like, oh, we're playing hockey. And the young team...
That's
makes
what
sense.
lessened it, I think, to some
Yeah.
extent.
And the
right?
biggest issue was the European team went to the finals too, which like for them...
Right.
Yeah.
Say, okay, what about
Yeah.
the rest of the team? You guys don't care as much. It just made no sense at all.
Yeah, it was just
The whole
Anze
tournament.
Kopitar and Leon Draisaitl balling.
Yeah.
But like it made no sense because like they would probably want to represent their country anyways much more.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you want to take part of this gimmick?
Exactly.
100%. And just think about all the countries they could have still had in the tournament. Like they could have had the Czechs.
Exactly.
They could have had
Slovakia.
they could have Slovakia. They could have technically they could have Russia, but we'll see about that next year. But like what I mean, like they could have all these teams, and I think this is like a good building block because now you could just have 8. You could probably have at least 6 teams.
Yeah.
Oh, at least.
Yeah,
At
Next
least
time,
not 8.
for sure.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I was thinking about. So we're gonna have the 4 nations, and then every other year it's gonna be the Olympics and the World Cup, right? Alternating 2 years. 2 years apart.
Yeah.
I wonder if in between they add in like another 6-nation tournament like this, or like
So like every year there's something
instead of like the
national-
All-Star game, because nobody cares about the All-Star game, right? But then I'm wondering if that dilutes international hockey.
I think honestly, if it's they're gonna do whatever is making the money. So
Yeah.
they're gonna do this international shit, right?
I'll keep the All-Star game.
They're
too.
gonna probably keep the All-Star game, or I think they're gonna maybe just do. If I'm them, I'll just do World and North America versus World.
Yeah.
At this point, like if you're just banking on the international shit,
Yeah.
just make your All-Star game like the old days,
Right.
not
Or, like,
World versus
Do
international.
you even need an All-Star game anymore?
You do,
Right,
but
like,
but then it's just gonna end up like Charles saying it's gonna be like the 6.
No. Like here's the thing: if you're gonna do like the World Cup and Euros like every 2 years kind of thing, right? Or like in hockey terms, the World Cup, or World Cup and the Olympics, just the off years, just have the players off for like a week.
I mean, this is all something that's probably going to be
Discussed.
talked about and discussed further in the future. I think if you have the World Cup of hockey every 2 years, and
4
then
years.
4 years, and then you have the Olympics. You can have, I guess, the All-Star game for one of those years. I don't think it's going to be that bad of a product. I think the players will care more because it's not something that happens every year. All-Star game for the NHL is always hit and miss anyways, right? Because back in the day when they were going to the Olympics. It was during that time. And then for some random reason, sometimes they wouldn't even hold an All-Star game, right? Lockout, we're not going to hold an All-Star game.
I think Razak said like it's all up to the NHL, like what makes the most money. And the All-Star game makes some money in terms of like the kids and the families love it.
But it generates a lot of people for that. The whole city, right?
The whole city. Yeah. And I think just in general, like, it would be a smart move to keep the All-Star game around because not only are you going to make money, it makes the other games look better. So more people are paying attention to those games because you're going to watch the All-Star game and like, this sucks. And then next year, it comes to Four Nations.
Yeah, and you're actually excited.
Now it's like, we're watching the Four Nations, right? Rather than it just being like, I'm watching nothing, and then it's just in Four Nations.
I think what this showed, this tournament, the Four Nations, more than anything was how bad the NHL dropped the ball like the last 10 years or so when they got rid of international hockey on a full scale. You guys mentioned like the reasons why like people like tuning into those sorts of things. But, you know, you did your entire sport a disservice by not having best on best international play for the last 10 years, given that hockey is a sport where you have more than two dominating nations, right? Yeah. There's four nations here, but you have Russia, you have Czech Republic, you have Slovakia, they still have a team, Germany, and even Slovenia, right? So it's not like it's something that's watered down to, or confined rather to a few nations. You should be trying to globalize the game. And I'm glad that they're finally getting back on international hockey.
100%. Because look at the World Juniors. Some teams like just pull out surprises.
Kazakhstan,
Kazakhstan,
Norway, like
these teams. Like you gotta give these teams a chance, and then it builds the game much more.
It gives them the people that live there, obviously the citizens over there, right? Some excitement. We beat Canada in this game.
Like when we had the live stream on Twitch, we had the Czech Republic. Fan follower here. And then it's so like you have like the people from around the world watching it already. So imagine if Czech Republic was in the Four Nations tournament or like Six Nations or something. You have way more people watching.
100%. And I just think, just to add to JP's point, think about 2018. They went to Korea, right? They went to Korea. They could have built that big market. Because next year, remember, after 2018, they went to Hong Kong or wherever it was with the Canucks, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you just blew your chance. You could have built a little bit of a base in Korea in the Asian market, and then went into this like, now here's all their stars. Here's Sidney Crosby or here's Austin Matthews or whoever, right? You could have just built off that. You could have built off that momentum.
And we've been talking about that when it was taking place. Because what we saw was when the NBA went to Beijing in 2008 for the Summer Olympics in basketball. Look at basketball, how it's blown up since, and how big basketball is in China, and how big stars like Tracy McGrady and like Kobe Bryant before he passed were in China. And like you're saying, Razak, 2 attempts at the Asian market, and they didn't go to either of them. They didn't go to Korea, and they didn't go to China later on, 2022. Right, that's when it was the Olympics, right? So 2018 and 2022 dropped the ball big time in my opinion.
Two big markets. You could have just had a huge fan base.
Right.
You could have had, like, just think about China's population, 1 billion people. If you got 1/10 of that population, you would have been fine. You'd have been doing well.
You've been laughing right now.
Yeah, you'd be laughing right now.
And the dagger, and to wrap a bow on this point, is during the Winter Olympics, ice hockey is the marquee event.
Yeah. That's what everybody watches.
Right? Like if you're a casual observer of sports and you're not going to watch like skiing or something, you're still going to watch ice hockey, especially if you're going to have NHL players and like professionals playing.
Yeah.
You know, if your game's not growing overall with respect to the NHL product, at least keep the Olympics, right? You're the marquee event. People are going to tune in. Facts. You can get consumers to buy into your product that way over time, especially in markets like China and fucking Korea, and they didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
They kept blaming it on the IOC like they always do, right? Gary Bettman lets us go to move. The IOC, they're not. Well, why don't you like play ball and try to grow the game overall instead of doing this fucking BS shit that they've been doing the last 10 years? I'm glad they finally changed it up. And I'm getting a little angry now, but I'm just recounting like all the BS shit that the NHL's been doing.
All this wasted opportunity. The game could have been way bigger now than it was.
Yeah, because you already had like stars like Matthews and like USA could have been way bigger.
USA would have been huge.
Right?
Yeah.
So like they missed the ball.
I think I'm also still wondering, are they going to be able to capitalize off this? Because all I've heard from Americans is like it's hard for them to watch the games over there still. There's still blackouts and all that stuff. Yeah. So what about these people who are just like, I want to watch hockey now. I'm into this. My team, my city has a team. I want to go watch the games, and it's so hard for them to find the games themselves. Or they find out about a big game or playoff game, something like that. It's hard for them to watch it.
Like, I don't understand what the NHL does with
it turned out to greed because like they killed it with the when they had the NHL Game Center. That worked great. Yeah. That was a great thing, right? Because anybody could buy that and just watch the games. Mm-hmm. But then they just started like, we gotta go to ESPN. We gotta do this. We gotta give a piece to ESPN. We gotta give a piece to TNT. So now it just becomes basically separated. Now, like if you're a team, want to watch a team, you have to basically buy that product. And you have to buy this product, right? which I guess gives money to for the revenue funds, right? But that kind of stops the growth game. Yeah. This isn't football, right? Football is like huge in America, so people are gonna watch it regardless of where it is. Like this is a chance for like which other like do the NBA baseball, they're not like, hey, let's just take away international sports, you know,
right, yeah.
Which they didn't go backwards. The NHL is the only one that went backwards, and then doubled down on going backwards.
Yeah, and they had so many advantages. Yeah, them being the only winner in Olympic professional sport, and then having multiple countries that can win. Yeah, it's not going to be. Canada doesn't win all the time, right? Canada lost in 2006. Right, and when the Olympians haven't, when the players haven't been going.
Look at the World Juniors; they don't even win as often as they used to. Exactly. They had a small run. And
sports starting to grow outside of Canada now.
I think this is going to be growth, Shataj. You're not going to be looking at this playoff run around. It's going to be next playoff round next year, and the key is they have to go to the Olympics. Yeah. Because like now the buzz is here, and that's gonna go away because other sports come into play, and everyone's got their own live summers around the corner. Yeah, everyone's gonna be doing their own thing. But then next year they're gonna have that in the back of their mind, this tournament that just took place, and then you're gonna have the Olympics taking place. If the NHL is there and it's the marquee event, that's when then you're gonna see the viewership go up, and especially if the US does well. Yeah, right. So have they confirmed it?
Yeah,
that they're going.
They're going.
Yeah,
that's good. Where is the Olympics?
Italy.
Italy, okay.
Yeah. Of course, they're gonna go for a fucking country like Italy, but when you're gonna go to like a
country
Italy, like China, you're not gonna do it.
Winter,
isn't it? They had it in 2006.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did have to. Well, that's the worst time for us. Here we go again.
Yeah, in Milan. Okay.
Yeah, Milan. And then I think the way they're gonna do this is in February they're gonna have all the international games. Pretty much the World Cup's gonna be in February, and then the Olympics are gonna be in February as well.
Which makes sense. Just keep it consistent.
Right. Which is smart. It's probably it's about time that the NHL actually does something that grows the game once again.
Because they haven't done anything the last 10 years.
And we saw the fucking comment section our videos, like the Sweden one, and even obviously the USA one. People are into this. Yeah. People you wouldn't expect to be into it. They actually care.
They do care, and then it just leads to like people not being able to watch the game because you decide, hey, we don't want to go to the Olympics for whatever reason. Yeah, like, that's what blew my mind when they did that. I'm like, what sport goes like, hey, let's take away the international aspect of the game?
Even when the Olympics were taking place, you guys remember 2002, even 2006 and 2010. The general public, there was more buzz during that time, right? 100%. And that's what it comes with the territory. I don't know why the NHL was so afraid or like pissed off about the fact that was the case, but that's just the way it goes, right? Yeah. And why would you rid yourself of an opportunity of this stage that's like tailor-made for you, right? Like look at the NBA, and NBA is ridiculous. Sorry, basketball in the Summer Olympics, USA is going to win every year. Yeah. Despite that, the coverage is insane. Mm-hmm. Other countries even care, and they have like outside of like a puncher's chance really to beat the USA. Yeah. And it's still the marquee event, and it's covered like that, and like that's across the board. Hockey, you have all these other countries that could win, and
hockey's the most underdog sport too.
And like hot goalie can take anything.
Hot goalie can take anything. It's one game. It's not a 7-game series, right? It's one game, and one game could change. Anything could happen in that one game. Look at Canada. Canada looked great in that Saturday game, right? They looked like they were mostly in control of that game, right? Yeah. All USA did was just counterattack, right? They when they got the 2 chances, they scored. And anything could happen. Like a team could just have a hot goaltender like Halbach, and you could just wait it out and just like end up winning.
I just thought of something, and no one's giving him credit, but we have to shout out Trump for this because Trump saved hockey. If he didn't start shitting on Canada and saying we're gonna be in the 51st state, no one would care about this at all, right? Yeah. The only reason Americans care and they want to troll Canada, and why we care so much, like fuck, please win. We hope USA doesn't win. Is because of this whole thing that's going on, this trade war. So shout out to Donald Trump for that. He saved hockey. That's gonna be in the documentary in 10 years from now.